What is going on, everybody? It's Mimosa Monday, y'all. Hey, orange juice for YouTube. Y'all know the deal. It's been a while. We live right now on YouTube, on Rockfin, on Rumble. Oh, give me a second. We're actually going to be live on Rockfin right now. Okay, now I'm telling the truth. On Rockfin, on Rumble, and on X. Unlike Ryan Ruth, apparently, who was live on X, and then he got his account suspended only after he tried to kill a former president. But that's a different conversation for a different day. No, actually, we're going to talk about that today. But not before we answer some of y'all questions. Have a good time. We got a great show. Cynthia Dreaming, what's going on? Shout out to all of our YouTube members and all of our Rockfin members and our Patreon members too. I know I've been looking forward to it too, y'all. It was a crazy morning. Y'all, I got 4 hours of sleep last night. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm very, very proud of that. I was surprised. Y'all know I got a 6-month-old. He don't sleep 4 hours at a time. I don't know if he's broken or what, but I know if he just don't sleep well, generally speaking, but my kid seems he just is weird. I don't know. He don't like to sleep. My oldest, that boy will sleep through a hurricane, but my baby, he doesn't like the TV being off. So that's a whole different thing. He also doesn't like, if, you know, obviously I'll keep the TV. I like keeping the TV on because I can't sleep without a TV on. You know, my intrusive thoughts be getting the best of me. ADHD problems. But he doesn't like the TV off either. We actually have to be, whenever we put him down in the crib, he has to have the TV on, because if he's like there more than 30 minutes in complete silence, he like freaks out. He wakes up screaming like somebody's trying to kill him. I don't know why he's like that. So, but last night he slept for about 4 hours, you know, before us having to get up and do whatever we have to do to put him back to sleep. So yeah, that was cool. More sleep than usual. Anna Jackson said, I don't got a mimosa, but I got a beer and a cigarette. I hear that. What kind of beer you drinking? I miss my American beers, or at least my American beer selection. They got some pretty decent beers here in Brazil, but the decent ones you actually have to buy in the store. You can't, like, not all the restaurants have a good beer selection. My assumption is because they would be too expensive, and a lot of people wouldn't buy them. So also they like to, here, generally speaking, if you go out, you're going out with more than one person, and they also buy beers for at least 2 or 3 people. Like, that's the kind of beers people buy, the larger ones in restaurants, to make sure, as they say here, vale a pena. Basically, make sure it's worth it. Zalipa said, and a coffee here. Hey, I already had my coffee. I had that. Y'all know, I can't start my day without coffee. It's like, it don't happen. My day that's what happens. My day actually does not get started if I had not had coffee. I will not get anything done that day. Anna went straight into the first question. Has there been any elections for any Ukrainian elected officials, including presidency? Can we talk about Zelensky, the president? Oh, that's a quick one. No, they're in like full dictatorship mode right now. Zelensky canceled elections and political parties actually a while ago, and media and journalists, and created a kill list for journalists too. So yeah. That man a whole dictator right now. But you know, nobody loves a dictator more than the United States. It's almost as if that's a prerequisite. If the United States is going to help you, and you're not one of the, you know, Western European countries, if the US is going to help you maintain your democracy needs to already be a dictatorship. It's kind of how they work. No, right now my cat's with family. I had Bebe here, but I had to take her back because she had to have a surgery, which sucked. And I was, at the time, I wasn't going to be back and forth quick enough for her to get the surgery here, wait for the recovery, and then travel. Or get the surgery here, leave her with a friend, and then come back. Like, I was going to the United States when I found out she needed to get help. So, unfortunately, I had to brought her with me, and I left her with fam. So, but I am actually trying to get my babies back here ASAP because I am missing them a lot. It's actually, you know what? Nobody really talks about how hard it is being out without your fur babies, yo. Nobody really talks about it. I know I'm always talking about my fur babies, but I've also like always been with them. It's very rare that I go more than 4 or 5 days at the most without seeing my babies. I used to take my babies everywhere. I bought an SUV because I just love traveling with my babies. They get on my nerves sometimes, especially my big fat orange tabby king, but only when we're traveling. But yeah, it's hard. It's really, really difficult. I have a lot of days where I'm like, I want my fur babies to actually spend time with my kids, and they're in the US right now, so they can't. And it sucks 'cause I know that they would enjoy each other a lot. That's the only thing that stopped me from getting a cat here, because I was going to adopt one, but I'm like, I can't adopt one more because that would be too much to integrate him or her with 6 other cats. Like, you can't be by yourself and then be like, hey man, here's some friends. No, your child of cat. No, I have 2 kids. What do you mean? But I wouldn't mind being the childless cat lady. I was. It was dope because my dog was also a cat, so he was kind of smarter than your average dog. Y'all, before we get into the politics stuff, I gotta let y'all know I just watched season 4 of The Boys. Finally, it took me so long because, well, you know, I'm in a relationship, so I can only watch whenever she can watch, and she can only watch when she can actually pay attention, because usually we're watching whatever. If we're watching movies from America, we usually watch them in English because she's practicing with Brazilian subtitles or Portuguese subtitles. So yeah, and you know that actually in your relationship, if you decide to mess around and watch a series that y'all both agreed y'all want to watch together without consent, non-consensual binge watching is a marriage ender. So, yo, this series, first of all, fun fact, did y'all know that the last episode of season 4, the name of the episode actually had to be changed because it had something to do with an assassination attempt on a president? So they changed the last name, they changed the episode name. And it just so, but I mean, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but like somebody gets assassinated, I'm like, well, there's always somebody getting assassinated, so I guess that's not really a spoiler. But but somebody gets assassinated, and it happened like right before, or no, right after. No, the episode released right after the Trump assassination. Now, it's important to remember these episodes were developed at least probably 6 months to a year before they hit Amazon Prime. So it's weird. A lot of things that happen in The Boys are weird because they're supposed to be making fun of what's happening in the US and the ludicrousy of it all. But in that particular case, it was strange. And I'm gonna tell you why it's even more strange. Because I watched the last episode yesterday. Okay? I watched the last episode yesterday, and then they tried to kill Trump again. What the fuck? Is weird. It's too weird. It's too weird. I know art is supposed to mimic life, but at a certain point, you gotta be like, okay, now this is just this. It seems like the universe now, or somebody's trying to warn people. I don't know, but the whole series. So the first part of The Boys was confusing to me, right? And I'm gonna explain why. Because psychologically speaking, I didn't understand why Homelander would be as crazy as he is. Right? And it's funny because I specifically was talking about this is back in the day. It was a long time ago now. I guess what, 6 years ago when it first started? 6 or 7 years? Good God. I think it was 2019 was the first episode. Oof. Jesus. We're old guys. But I was like, why would Homelander act like this? This doesn't make any. It's still, and honestly, it doesn't make. They address it, but it still doesn't make any sense to some degree. But I would say, if he wants to, you would assume that being a hero and being stronger than anybody, there's not really any satisfaction in going around being an asshole who just kills everybody and kills anybody for shits and giggles. Because he doesn't gain anything from it. You get what I'm saying? I can understand why he would, if he did something accidentally, why he would want to hide it because of the need to feel loved. I would get that. But I don't understand why he would just be an asshole all the time if he simultaneously has a need to be loved. And if he, because that's what you would assume. Like, if I have everything I could ever want, the only thing that would be missing would be a desire to be loved. And I guess their explanation is, we brought in the best psychologist so that his need for love would cause obedience to from his superiors. But like, just that. But you would assume that would translate to the way he treats everybody else around him as well. But instead, he's like, nah, I'm just gonna kill you if you don't like me the way I feel like you should. I don't know. So the premise of the series was bizarre to me. The premise of the series was bizarre. With that being said, it does do a good job. Like, I feel like the superheroes are like a metaphor. Vought too, but the superheroes specifically, they're a metaphor of a combination of the arms industry and the politicians. Because at the end of the day, and obviously the deep state to some degree, but at the end of the day, even though these politicians don't have superpowers to kill us directly, like they're not about to laser anybody, but they do have the ability to sign off on a piece of legislation, and they're killing people like just for money, and they hide things for money, and they have this disproportionate amount of power, and then they do all this bread and theater, acting like they're saving people, acting like the United States is the protagonist in this story of international politics, when in actuality that's not the case, right? So I do think that they do a great job making fun of both sides. I know it seems like to some people they might be making fun of just the right regarding the superheroes, I mean, but in actuality, if you watch closely, they're actually making fun of liberals a lot, like substantively, not like the superficial stuff. I'm saying whenever they do the commercials about like them caring about racism, and they throw A-Train up there, for example, and everybody like, motherfucker, y'all racist as hell. Why y'all pretend like y'all actually like him? Well, because it serves our ends. That's literally Democrats. So it's almost like, especially towards the third and the fourth season, you really kind of get a feel for like, oh yeah, no, this is the uniparty. This is like a Vought in and of itself is like a metaphor for the United States uniparty, because this is how they act. There's not really any difference. It doesn't matter who the CEO is. It doesn't matter who's running the show. It's a uniparty. Now that little wrench they threw in at the end, having the black girl be the smartest person in the world, I thought was actually pretty clever. Cause I was like, damn, bro, they just gonna keep doing this like dirty. But I mean, when you're watching the series as a black person, you kind of got like mixed emotions. Cause you're like, are they doing this on purpose? Or are they trying to teach us a lesson? You get what I'm saying? Like, are they doing this on purpose? Like, are they being assholes? Like, trying to portray us like this? Or are they genuinely trying to teach the world a lesson? Like, no, this is how they treat black people in professional or political spaces. They only use them as props and tokens. So I was like, okay, now they got the smartest person in the world is a black girl, and she's like pulling all these strings. And it was really just because she wanted to. She didn't even have a motive. It's literally, I just wanted to see if I could do it. And she ends up actually kind of being victorious, which is crazy. And to tokenize all the minorities in the way that they did, which seemed to be purposeful once again, to prove a point, to have like at the last season, the smartest person in the world be a black girl. And she goes like, nah, I'm the smartest person in the world. Cause they always say, oh, you're the smartest woman in the world. She's like, no, I'm the smartest person, because she is technically. It was like purposeful, and it like she was manipulating all these people, and she was using their inherent racial biases and their insecurities to do it. So it was interesting. It was like wasn't the smartest person in the world necessarily because of books, which like, yeah, she knew all the actual information, but she was the smartest person in the world because she understood how to manipulate human and group psychology. And she was successful to the point where she even predicted Homelander. Like, yeah, you're gonna fuck shit up. Like, even when I tell you need to trust me, you need to listen and don't intervene, she was already predicted. She's like, yeah, I knew you were gonna fuck it up, so I made all these extra steps. She's like, yeah, I had to, not tell you about certain stuff because I didn't want you to be you and mess it up. So it was a very, very interesting season. It can be extra sometimes, but I feel like it's extra mostly because Seth Rogen is one of the executive producers. I don't know if anybody knew that, but yeah, Seth Rogen is actually one of the executive producers. White hero worship is not fun for me to watch. It's not fun for me to watch, but it's because of how they portray the white hero in this particular case, which is why I like watching it. Because at first I was like, I'm not about to watch. After about an episode of the first season, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep watching this. I said, I'm gonna give it a chance because everybody told me, even my brother who will binge watch stuff all the time, he's like, you gotta watch, you gotta watch. I was like, all right, cool, whatever, I'll watch it. So once I saw how they were starting to treat him and how they started kind of going into the psychological breakdown of Homelander, I was like, oh, okay, all right. Because it actually disassembles this idea of the white savior and really kind of exposes the white savior complex, rather. And I like that because, to be frank, the producers are mostly, if not exclusively, white. So for them to dedicate a whole show basically exposing the white savior complex and how people buy into it, how people trick themselves into buying into it, to be honest. That was a really clever show, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I also watched Gen Z. That was really good too. And it was definitely made for Gen Z. They timed the release of Gen Z right about the time that you get a lot of Gen Zers that'll be 18, 19, 20, which is really smart. That was really smart because it's definitely for them. You should definitely, if you have not watched The Boys, watch it because they go after everybody that kind of has their role in the system and also how people end up getting trapped into their roles in the system, how family can even contribute to how you participate in your role in that system. And you didn't even know. Sometimes people are born into it and they don't know until, it's too late. And then you got a choice to make. And so you'll see people being faced with very, very difficult choices over and over again. In this particular series, it's like life or death. It ain't gonna be an easy death. It's gonna be one of them ugly deaths. The dude that plays Dan Edgar is bugging out from Do the Right Thing. Oh, yeah. What's his name? He's Italian and Dutch. I don't know if y'all knew that. He's always playing like Latinos, but he's actually Italian and Dutch. Like, he was born in Denmark, but his mom's from Alabama and his dad is Italian. So his name is actually Italian. Super weird. I'm like, I thought this man was Latino this whole time. I really did. So it's Sociology, the series. Yeah, kinda. It's human. It's definitely human sociology, a little bit of psychology, some pretty good political analysis. Like for the most part, if I had some complaints, this is a little bit. Oh, now here's what was funny. So there was one part where, because they always say like, oh, this is supposed to not depict real, like real scenes or real life events. It's just like, fake. But there was one part in the last season where this girl is going off about vaccines, and she was like, and they're putting vaccines in your babies, and some of those vaccines are even causing autism. And they were but everybody knows like her role is to be full of shit, right? She's kind of like the Charlie Kirk of the series. And in the middle of, but in that particular part, Homelander, I think it was Homelander, it was like, oh man, everybody knows that they're full of like that she's full of shit. And then the black girl who's the smartest person in the world, she stops and is like, oh no, that part's true. Like out of everything that this girl, like she does not, they don't like each other because the Charlie Kirk girl is racist as hell. All right, who knew? And out of everything that she actually agreed with her on, it was like that one thing, she stopped and was like, no, actually that part's true. And it was like a little bit bizarre the way they did that. I was kind of surprised by it, but it was really good, man. I like the series. I'm really looking forward to season 5. It looks like they're actually going to continue past season 5, even if it's with some of the newer members from the Gen V series. So I don't really like series that don't go give me more than 3 seasons. I need more than 3, because 3 is like a really awkward place to stop. You ain't really had no build up. The first season is I'm getting to know everybody. The second season is like you're building up to the climax. The third season is like a long, like it should be an emotional roller coaster. That's how it usually is. The fourth season is like, all right, we're kind of coasting again. We're coasting, but like it's supposed to be the setup for, or hopefully the setup for the next phase. Or at the very bare minimum, the second part of the fourth season should be like the biggest part of the climax, right? But I don't do 3 seasons. You got 3 season shows, don't talk to me. Oh yeah, that clone guy was bizarre. What will my superpower be? Spider-Man. Whatever I just want Spider-Man's powers. That is like, people ask me all the time, for real, because I have a Spider-Man tattoo on my chest. But like, I want it with the brains. I need the intelligence too, which he somewhat inherited from the spider, but mostly was just him. But if you give me Iron Man, brain, or Spider-Man, I'm good. But I feel like Iron Man is too smart, which is why he's so crazy, which is why Tony Stark is so crazy and like self-destructive. Because being that smart is a burden. When you literally know the solution to every quantitative problem that there is, qualitative problems become a lot more difficult to solve. It's just, that's the way of the world. That's the way brain works. You when you're too smart in one area, you sacrifice in others. So Spider-Man though, climbing buildings, super strong, like spider senses, agility, being in shape your entire life, basically. Like, come on, knowing how to make webs. I'm a duct tape guy. You know how much that would help me? I love duct tape, bro. You give me some webs. Web swinger looks fun as hell. On top of that, Daredevil's powers are pretty dope too. Yeah, Daredevil's powers are pretty dope. But like, Spider-Man's powers are basically Daredevil's powers, but without being blind. I think I prefer to not be blind. I know that he can see, his other senses are so good that he basically is seeing, but like, I think I prefer to see. Not gonna lie to you guys. Want to be Dr. Doom? Oh, Dr. Doom is that's a good one. That's basically Tony Stark. That's Tony Stark as if he was crazy. I mean, that's basically what we're getting, I guess, in this new Dr. Doom. So, Eric Moore said, I kind of enjoyed the previous season of The Boys, but the reliance on superfluous violence got boring to me. That would be probably one of my only complaints. Is like at some point, they're just being violent to be violent. Like guys, we get it. They kill people. Superheroes are reckless. They're destroying everybody, and humans are playthings to them. We get it. And it just got to the point where they just wouldn't. They won't let it go. In my opinion, they kind of addressed that in Gen V. It's not violence for the sake of violence. They're very like kind of deliberate at the points where they choose to show violence. and it's not like over the top. I definitely feel like The Boys is over the top sometimes. Like, I'm like, bro, guys, we get it. But once again, I feel like that's like Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, like, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know how Seth Rogen is with his movies and his parts. Like, he just goes over the top for the sake of doing it. And sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah. They already got like a little The Boys universe. So I do like the concept of it because sometimes I feel like people are kind of getting tired of the whole just political series, just straight political series, but also people to some degree are getting tired of superhero movies. And then like when Marvel kind of took its turn to reality, when I say reality, I mean like dealing with the consequences that came from the snap, it was like too real for people. So now with The Boys, I feel like it's a good mix of escapism, but also with politics and sociology, which is very hard to do. That's a very, very hard thing to accomplish. This last season, maybe season 3 too, though, you could tell they spent a shitload of money on that. The last 2 seasons, you can tell they spent a lot of money. You know whenever the money starts getting spent is when you start seeing the people in the groups of people, like the main characters, be in different places. Like, and in the first season, in the second season, usually they're always together in one form or another, like, or most of them are together. But like, you don't see a lot of setting changes. We know whenever they start getting money, like with what was it? Not Infinity. Well, yeah, Infinity War 2. What was the first movie that they actually started doing? Oh, second Guardians of the Galaxy and Civil War. Captain America Civil War. That's when you started noticing, like, okay, they're in different scenes, you got different fights going on, they're switching back and forth. Yeah, you can tell. They do that a lot in The Boys with the last 2 seasons. So yeah, man, my next binge watch is going to be that Samurai. I think it's called Samurai. I think it's called Samurai. Man, so Andor, I've heard a lot of great things about Andor. I gotta work my way up to it because, yo, it's Star Wars, bro. Every time I watch Star Wars, I'm always left with the feeling of knowing, yeah, but whatever they do next, they're gonna fuck it up. That is the problem with Star Wars, especially when you're dealing with the universe, right? For example, I watch DC cartoons all day. I will not watch the movies. I mean, like Shazam, because I knew that wasn't gonna be like a continuation. Like I knew they were going in that shit. Even though that was probably one of the best movies they actually released. That's the sad part. The first and the second one. I like Black Adam too. But yeah, I could never get into DC movies because I know they was gonna fuck it up. Whatever came next, I'm like, if this movie's good, they're gonna mess up the next one. If they don't mess up the next one, they're gonna mess up the universe. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and let that ride. I'm not the type of person that's gonna be set up for disappointment. That's just not me. Shogun, thank you very much, Ryan. It's Shogun, not Samurai. Damn, it's windy as hell outside. Let's see what Brandon say about Marvel. The problem with Marvel is that they push the multiverse so hard, so now character death is never really death. They could always emerge from a fresh universe. So I have a theory about that. No. Hear me out. The reason why that's not the case is precise. So I feel what you're saying, but I knew it wasn't going to be a problem precisely because of what they did in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And it seemed like it was very intentional. Not seemed like it probably was. Knowing James Gunn, it probably was. You can kill a character, and yeah, maybe by some coincidence in some storyline, they can be brought back from another universe. However, you cannot bring back the experiences that you've never had. So in Guardians 3, what is the biggest problem with Gamora and Quill? Why can they not mesh in the same way? Why are they not clicking in the same way that they did in the past films? And the real reason why, they probably would eventually hit it off seriously if they had time together. But like, the real reason was Quill has already had all his experiences with this past Gamora. And so he already has a baseline that's way higher than this new Gamora for where they're supposed to be in their relationship, and is expecting her to capitulate. Gamora, the new one, has never had any of those experiences with him nor the Guardians, but most importantly, she's never had the experience of raising Groot, which means she never played the mommy role, which is the whole predicate. Like the relationship between Quill and Gamora is predicated on his need for a mommy, because she died so young and he's been running away from his problems. And Gamora played that role. For Gamora, Quill was a family figure that she could attach to, and the Guardians, generally speaking, were a family figure that she could attach to fill in that hole that she felt from not really having a family when she was with Thanos. Instead of finding and staying with the Guardians first, she left with the Ravagers, so they became her family. And it's probably even more significant that she found them, that she found the Ravagers first, because Sakaar, the guy who's played by Sylvester Stallone, is actually like older. So now, instead of her getting attached to Peter, she gets attached to a father figure like Sakaar, who ironically was the father figure of Peter's father figure. So I guess that's like just a big ass coincidence. But my point is, you can kill people and they can come back, but there is a whole story that's attached to any person that you decide to revive or bring back through the multiverse. And there's always the reality that this person who's had these experiences and this person who's had a set of completely different experiences, they're never going to mesh the same as the person that died. You get what I'm saying? So like, that's why I feel like, yeah, I can understand why people would say that maybe in a cartoon, I guess. But like in reality, the way Marvel does its characters, once you lose that character in the way that they are, in the way that they're portrayed, that character is gone. Hell, this Gamora, the Gamora before, that girl, I was kind of confused. I'm like, damn, how's she fighting so much and her hair always so perfect? And this new Gamora don't even know how to damn wash her hair. Christian, thank you for the super chat. Yo, good afternoon, Niko. You sipping, I'm smoking. I would love to have seen you at the Breakfast Club interview going ham on Angela Rye. Man, look, they would never. I would love it too. I really would. Angela Rye, wildin'. You see, they've been getting roasted in the comment sections. She's been getting roasted in her tweets. Any tweet she put out, it don't even matter. She had the audacity. You would think that for somebody like Angela Rye, you would think that she would be a little bit more PR savvy and would just like, yo, I messed up. I'm gonna disappear for a little bit, just a little bit. I'm gonna come back, y'all. But you know, nah, she didn't do that. She didn't do that. She decided that she was gonna keep doubling down, that she was gonna keep just kind of ignoring what everybody's been saying about her. Like, and she started to post more on Twitter. The only thing that has happened is that people are attacking her more. And then she had the audacity to post a video of herself going to the Congressional Black Caucus dinner. I'm just like, oh, wow, you're really gonna post a video of yourself, you know, getting dressed in your bougie ass outfit? It probably costs more than what I make in a year. Going to the national dinner for Negroes selling out other Negroes. Like, that's how you're gonna address all this? Because we ain't forget. I told y'all too. I told y'all during our last live stream. She was a member. Well, she wasn't a member, excuse me. She was an advisor to the Congressional Black Caucus under Obama. In other words, whenever Jill Stein is referring to all the ways the Democratic establishment sells us out, and specifically people of color, whenever Butch Ware is referring to that, Angela Rye was a part of it. She lived it. She saw it firsthand. And was like, nah, no, that's not true. How dare you? How dare you? I can't believe you would say something like that. That shit was funny. overall, it was a positive though, right? Because Jill Stein, since then, ended up getting Georgia so many voters that were going to stay. So a lot of people think for some reason that if somebody was not going to vote for Jill Stein, that they were instead going to vote for Kamala. No, there's just a lot of people that just weren't going to vote. Hell, there's probably still a lot of people that are just not going to vote. That's not the case anymore. A lot of people who weren't going to vote are not going to vote for Jill Stein. And the reason that they know about Jill Stein is because of this interview. Unfortunately for Angela Rye, a lot of people only know about her right now because of this interview. So for some people who normally don't listen to The Breakfast Club, the first time they've heard of Angela Rye was because of this interview, and they did not like what they had to say. They did not like what she had to say. Can you blame them? I feel like this was a humbling moment for Angela Rye. You know, with your boy Charlamagne the God, he the type where that shit don't really bother him that much. Like he don't really take himself that seriously. He don't, you know what I'm saying? Like he knows what he's there for. He's there to make it look as if he cares about politics in one specific season, say what he's supposed to say, recite his lines that are given to him on his script, and go on by his business. So, but Angela, her job is to be a political analyst. That's what she was on CNN. Prior to 2020, she was on CNN. She was a regular on CNN. That was her job. She's worked in Washington. Completely different. But Jill got on the ballot in Georgia on top of all that. So like the Democrats were trying to kick her off the ballot. She ended up making it on the ballot in Georgia. And also I do want to address just really quick one thing before we talk about this Trump situation. I want to address one thing that Angela Rye has said that a lot of people on Twitter have repeated. They keep saying that Jill Stein doesn't have a mathematical chance of winning the election. I don't know where, like, I get if you're talking about like the legitimate viability, because I understand the corruption. I understand how this all works. Got it. But I'm just talking about, because everybody keeps talking, it's just mathematical. It's the math. No, mathematically speaking, she technically does have a chance. I'm just saying, if you want to be literal about it, mathematically speaking, she has a chance, because all that has to happen is that she stops somebody from achieving 270 delegates. And as long as she is on the ballot or can be written in multiple states, one of the majority of the states, which she at this point is, as long as she can do that, then technically, yes, she has a chance to win. Now, the reason she probably wouldn't, if I'm gonna be very frank, is because what happens if a candidate does not reach 270 votes, or excuse me, delegates, is that it goes to Congress and Congress chooses. Which kind of is stupid when you really think about it. But when you really think about it, that is a ridiculous outcome. That is wrong, because effectively, whoever has the majority in Congress, they're going to pick the next president. But I'm just speaking, because everybody likes to talk about the technicalities. Look, U.S. politics is very complicated. I don't even make fun of people who don't know the ins and outs of every single political policy and the ins and outs of the Constitution, or the ins and outs of, like, they were mad at Jill Stein. Oh, Jill Stein said about 600, there's about 600 people in Congress. Well, there are about 600. She didn't remember the exact number off the top of her head, because the seats do remain, but I'm sure that she was probably thinking the districts change and there are special elections all the time. And there are districts that are added and there are districts that are added or subtracted, and people have to run, people die, there's gerrymandering. There's like a lot of reasons why there is sometimes vacancies. So she probably just said, around 600 because it's about closer to 600 with the Senate and the House together. Okay, and like, is that really that important? It would be important in a very specific situation, which I'm sure she would know. That y'all like it's something for her. Oh, you didn't know how to use Google right now and go look up the exact number of seats, Angela? What? That's how you define political knowledge? So they just spent an hour giving you all of this history of both the Democratic and Republican parties, all this foreign policy. Hell, even giving you the map of how the elections actually work. They're giving you all that. And your beef is you didn't know that there are 435 seats in Congress? What? That's your takeaway from all of this? And I always, excuse me. And when people have brought that up to me as some kind of gotcha, which is like a ridiculous gotcha, by the way, I always tell people, okay, since you think you know so much, oh, hey, Christian brought up a good point. He said, Angela had a laptop in front of her the whole time. You damn right. And that's probably why she knew the answer to that question. If I'm gonna be completely honest, because if you listen to any of her actual rhetoric in the past or listen to any interview she's ever had, she's not all that bright. So she probably was like, I gotta find a gotcha, because she is running circles around us in this fucking interview right now, to be completely honest. But whenever people try to like flex their political knowledge about X, Y, and Z, you know, in a way to try to dismiss somebody, I bring up a very simple fact that I learned maybe 6 or 7 years ago about Congress. I learned that Congress was supposed to increase with the population, which seems pretty simple. Like, oh, no, that makes sense. And people think, there are a lot of people who actually believe that do know that it still happens, but it doesn't. There are a lot of people who don't even know that that's supposed to be happening. And there are a lot of people who don't know that is technically a violation of the Constitution. And that is just being allowed that be, like, we should have close to about 1,000 Congress people. I think somebody quoted like 1,200, something like that. Something crazy like that. I'm like, damn, that's a lot. But then I sat back and thought about it. Whenever I learned this, I was like, oh shit. Because the person who explained it to me and showed me all this person actually wrote a book about it. I wish I could remember the name of it. But the person who explained it to me was like, yeah, it makes sense. It seems like it would be overwhelming, but it doesn't. Because now the scope of elections get a lot smaller. The scope of elections become a lot, your vote. So in a situation like Fort Lauderdale, which I believe is the first or second largest voting district in the United States, millions of people vote for a congressional seat. And that representation, technically, I mean, it's Debbie Wasserman Schultz, so there's that. But the reality is they don't really get represented. You think it 2 or 3 million people? I think it's more than that, but it's like 2 or 3 million people that live in Fort Lauderdale, or that area rather. Broward County, I think Broward County, West Palm Beach, bro, it's huge. You think that many people are being represented by Debbie Wasserman Schultz? No, probably not. But it breaks down into smaller elections if Congress was still being elected based off of population size, and Congress was being increased based off of population size. The Senate was always supposed to be fixed, Congress no. And what was also supposed to happen to help because this is supposed to be a representative democracy. It is not representative. I don't know where the hell. I know we keep saying that. That seems to be the moniker, but it's not the case. Because what also used to happen was that every state had delegates, similar to what you hear whenever they go to the conventions, kind of like that. But every state had delegates that were elected. And those delegates, and it was like very, very small precincts that selected every delegate. So not only did you have more representation would you have more representation in Congress, but specifically you would have a delegate, a liaison, if you would, that would communicate directly with other delegates who talk to their constituency and then talk to Congress. And what would then happen is that the delegates would actually vote whenever a major bill would come up to make sure that that person in the House of Representatives was voting on behalf of the constituency. The delegates, after talking to their constituency, would vote with the other delegates, and the congressperson was expected to vote the way that those delegates voted because they know those delegates talk to their constituency. It was supposed to be representative democracy from the top down. You get what I'm saying? So, and it's also much more difficult to pay off an ever-growing Congress from an ever-growing population of people than it is to pay off 435 guaranteed seats, or I guess a total of 535. Because you know you can budget for that. You can't budget for population increase every year. You can't. And if there's 1,200 or however many Congress people, and you know that that number is going to continue to increase, there's a lot more chance for somebody or a group going rogue. Because I have the numbers to do so. And it's like I said, it's bro, paying off that many people. I know it sounds simple, but with 435, and then of course the Senate being set, that the hardest part would be getting through the Senate, of course. But if you have the population numbers being fairly represented, then obviously you all know that Congress can overrule the Senate at times. So there's a lot, like Congress was supposed to be for us. More than the Senate, more than the judiciary, more than the presidency. And that when that constitutional right was taken away from us, the constitutional right for respective and relative representation, true representation, that's when everything went to shit. Now, if you ask Angela, who's supposedly an expert about all this, she probably wouldn't know any of that. And I wouldn't even fault her for not knowing that. That might seem like a very obscure knowledge. But to pretend like it's 435 Congress people always talk shit about what they think they know just to own somebody because they don't want to address the facts that have already been discussed. Like you're trying to own her. You're not listening to be educated, nor are you actually trying to educate her. Fucking Destiny Wikipedia facts using ass. Anybody can go to Wikipedia. But it's like when we talk about the Second Amendment, and I always say, like, conservatives aren't really pro-Second Amendment enough for me. They're really not. I'm just saying. Because I be about the well-regulated militia part. I'm all about that shit. Militia. It ain't just about protecting yourself. It's about protecting yourself from foreign governments and domestic governments and having a well-regulated militia that is as trained as police forces and military forces. Just in case. So, with that being said, hope everybody's having a great day today. We got to talk about this situation with the assassin, the new one. Guys, you know, sometimes when we hear certain things about assassination attempts, little weird things like that, usually you like, man, this is weird because this shit ain't adding up. See, the problem with what we're seeing with this most recent assassination attempt is that everything is adding the fuck up. Everything is adding up, and it's adding up way too fast. So let's just go ahead and start off with the weirdest part of this whole situation. I don't know if y'all know this, but Mr. Ryan Ruth, his account was taken down from X and Facebook, actually. So that was like the weirdest thing off rip. Because I was like, damn, I wonder what I heard about it last night, but I was with my kids, so I'm like, I ain't gonna have enough time to read into this. check it out in the morning, check it out, go to his Twitter account, nothing. I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. And then after researching, I found out it was actually suspended. I'm like, oh, it must have been suspended a while ago, right? Because if this man was half as crazy as what they're saying he is in the news and on Twitter, like, he was probably, nope, it was suspended yesterday after the assassination attempt. Yeah. A little bit strange. A little bit strange. So here is the would-be Trump assassin Ryan Ruth making an appearance to recruit mercenaries to fight for Ukraine.
Well, the Ukrainians have a right to fight back.
I don't do paper, though.
I don't care if you do paper or not. I'm looking for revolutionaries. I'm looking for people who want to take this whole system down.
Bro, I'm a veteran. Like, do you need me?
What kind of veteran are you?
Bro, I served in Nuketown.
Well, I think it's better to serve and fight in the powers, fucking over the system.
Bro, give me a Glock and a Hellcat.
Take a look at this.
Bro, but I don't do paper, though. I just told
Come
you
on,
that.
dude, then get away. We don't need people who aren't serious. If you're not serious,
I'm serious, but I don't do paper, bro. You're literally killing the environment.
We're moving on. You go.
Yes, it's a little bit strange, guys. It's not strange. I guess it's a par for the course at this point.
Слава Україні! Я вдячний кожному, хто сьогодні виходить на акції в Україні і в світі. Всім, хто розуміє, наскільки критичною є ситуація в Маріуполі. Всім, хто кричить про Маріуполь. Кожен день на Азовсталі – це нові загиблі та нові поранені, яких немає можливості тут лікувати. Увага всього світу зараз...
Why is it that Trump seems to have so many problems with people who love Ukraine or somehow connected to Ukraine? Suspected attempt on suspected attempted Trump assassin is identified as Ryan Ruth, who has connections to the Ukraine Ministry of Defense and alleged ties to Representative Adam Kinzinger through helping recruitment efforts in Kiev. Ryan once broke down on a Newsweek Romania interview, begging the audience to come and fight and support Ukraine. He is a resident of Hawaii with several donations to the DNC via ActBlue. His social media is filled, or rather was filled, with anti-Trump, pro-Democrat posts. We need everyone here fighting. That's why I'm in Kiev. So every project that I promote is about getting people here to support Ukrainians. When you talk to a 20-year-old guy that sold everything he owns to come here and fight, that is heroism. Okay. So this man has built quite an audience, quite a bit of support from advocating for this war in Ukraine. And as you all know, once again, a little bit weird considering Trump has made it very clear what his intentions are when it comes to Ukraine. He's not about to stay there. He's not. He knows it's a waste of money. More importantly, not only has Trump made it clear how he feels about Ukraine, but Trump does not like NATO and NATO does not like Trump. And they don't believe Trump will continue to support Ukraine because they even placed personnel in Ukraine. It was the U.S. who placed NATO personnel there. That's how they framed it. And they literally said the reason that they did so was to Trump-proof U.S. and NATO aid to Ukraine, because they didn't want him to be able to undo the aid that they have planned going forward. That's what they said. They literally used the phrase Trump-proof. So, in two assassination attempts in 2 months? Now look, guys, I know I said that Trump didn't do all that well during the debates. I feel like he was a little bit underwhelming. But apparently, the CIA or whoever else was probably involved in this, they were like, yeah, but Kamala did worse, so we might have to handle this shit ourselves. Because Lord baby Jesus, what's crazy too is the fact that how can y'all keep calling these people crazy? They were like, how many people in the last 3-4 years do y'all know personally that said or have tweeted or have said in a video, whatever. Yo, pretty soon, after these legal cases fail and fall flat, they're probably going to try to take him out. That's the only solution that they have left. How many people have said that over the last several years? And how many people have been called crazy because they said that? Hell, I've probably said that more than once. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. It seems like they're not able to control this outcome one way or the other. It's not really a matter of if you like Trump personally. It's just the reality of the situation. Trump is unpredictable. That's unpredictability is not good for anybody's bottom line. I don't give a shit if you run a small business or, a globalist cabal. Unpredictability is not good for a bottom line. Nobody wants that. And when we're talking about how invested some of these multinational corporations are in Ukraine, how invested the United States is in Ukraine, how invested NATO is in Ukraine, Trump's unpredictability, or maybe in the case of Ukraine, very, very predictable actions, that's a problem. And all those crazy conspiracy theories are starting to look like kind of like goddamn geniuses. Or they just know how to, be observant and say the obvious. Because if you're willing to go as far as they have, when it comes to Trump, like as far as like you just going straight banana republic, we're going to use the Justice Department and weaponize the Justice Department to take out a political opponent in broad daylight. When you're willing to go that far, assassination is not off the table. And also, this is the United States we're talking about. When has assassination never been off the table? They're perfectly fine assassinations. Hillary even talks about it in emails. My only thing was, as far as, so I do have to say, I guess the Secret Service actually did a pretty damn good job this time. Because they actually got the shooter before the shooter even got a shot off. They saw the muzzle poking out the bushes. I guess that particular Secret Service agent was being diligent and was able to get the shooter before the shot got off. And they arrested him. Once again, maybe if he was black, probably wouldn't have been arrested, probably be dead right now. But it's a different conversation for a different day. So they arrested this guy. But here's the problem. Whenever they were asked about it, so the FBI was pressed about this during an interview after it took place. They're like, yo, how did he get in? It's an open air area, but it's a golf course and it was at Trump's resort. So somebody questioned why this person was able to breach the perimeter and get that close. I think it was about 300 to 400 yards out. The guy said, well, he said Trump is not the president. He's just a candidate at this stage. And therefore, we didn't have the personnel to dedicate. If he was a president, they would have had all of that covered. All of that perimeter would have been locked down. Now, that excuse might serve in almost any other situation. But in a situation where, yeah, he's not the president right now, but he was a fucking president. He literally was. Like, it was, bro, y'all like this was like 20 years ago. He was the president last year, basically. I mean, it feels like it. Obviously, he was the president 4 years ago, but my thing is, he was just the president is my thing. He's running for president again, and he was just the president. And oh, by the way, someone just tried to kill this man. And y'all like, yeah, man, we just, didn't do it. We didn't feel like it was necessary. Y'all, bro, isn't that how the last motherfucker got fired? The last Secret Service director got fired, right? Because he was on some, well, yeah, we just didn't do it. We just didn't see it coming. Like, we just didn't prepare for it. Okay, maybe the first one, which you should have saw coming, but you didn't see it, whatever. Maybe the first one. But now it's a month, 2 months later? Bro. What we gonna get? Assassination attempt, a debate. Assassination attempt, another debate. Assassination attempt. Like, what's going on? And it don't matter. Like, my thing is just from a logistics and strategic perspective, if you are trying to prevent this man from being killed, context comes into play at some point. And the context has kind of demonstrated that y'all need to fucking step your game up. And I'm honestly kind of surprised that nobody's trying to go after Kamala. I'm really, because the way that they act, the way that they portray people and the way that they talk about Kamala, you would think that they think everybody who dislikes Kamala is homicidal. Right? With the way that they, I mean, why? And usually, to be completely honest, it's usually people who are considered liberal or leftists that are getting assassinated. So it's kind of weird. We're in a weird place in history right now where patsies are going around trying to take out conservatives. Also, they probably could have got a better patsy. This guy, let me see if I can find the post. There you go. Yep, I found it. I'll pull it back up for you guys. Look at this man's criminal record. Oh, no, I don't know if I can zoom in. Let me try to zoom in. Ah, there we go. This man has a rap sheet. Damn the driving while license revoked. That man got carrying concealed weapon, motor vehicle violation, carrying concealed weapon, hit and run, carrying concealed weapon. Like, yo, this is just the light stuff. Where's the one from 2002? Oh, wow. He also had some charges in 2019 that weren't specific. Okay. Man, crazy how that man's passport is just so active as a felon. This man getting charged with stuff that aren't even specified. It's so damn. No, this ain't the one. I gotta find the one. Oh, what the hell? Oh, yeah. This is the one. Man with gun barricades himself inside business. An armed man. This is about Mr. Ryan. An armed man arrested Monday morning after barricading himself in a business during a 3-hour standoff, police said. Ryan Ruth, 36 at the time, was arrested without incident at 1 a.m. Monday at the United Roofing 1735 West Lee Street, Greensboro, police said. This is in Greensboro, North Carolina, by the way, in case y'all didn't know. Ruth was pulled over about 10 p.m. Sunday during a traffic stop, police said, but he put his hand on a firearm and drove to United Roofing. Where he remained barricaded, he put his hand on the firearm and got to walk away after being pulled over. Also, he was charged with having weapons of mass destruction. Oh, I forgot about that. That's pretty important, right? He was charged with weapons of mass destruction in 2002. Now, there might be something that stands out to you in particular about 2002. Yeah, we had started our adventure in Iraq and Afghanistan. This man didn't get his house invaded like we invaded Iraq. Didn't get assassinated like we assassinated Saddam Hussein. He got one of the harshest and cruelest and inhumane penalties that a person can receive by the United States justice system. He was given probation. He was given probation for having weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. That's crazy. We literally went and destroyed somebody's country. He had, because of weapons of mass destruction we said they had. The United States said that Saddam Hussein had. We went and destroyed a country over this. This man had more weapons of mass destruction than Saddam Hussein did, guys, and got probation for it. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane? And situations like this, you're like, damn, man, if we could have known, maybe we would have acted. Nah, literally everyone could have known because of he's been under the government's watch since at least 2002, at least, right? At the bare minimum, at the absolute earliest that I can find. But if you're making deals and recruiting people on behalf of the Ukrainian government, oh, by the way, shit, I forgot to mention, he actually has done work with the United States Embassy. He was working with the Ukrainian Embassy, or excuse me, with the United States Embassy in Ukraine to greenlight bringing U.S. trained troops from Afghanistan. Now, all this information is readily available on the internet. You can find it. But for whatever reason, well, I think we all know the reason. Yeah, the mainstream media has not mentioned these stories, has not mentioned these facts about him. But a guy who just tried to, so it's not just that a guy tried to take out Trump. It is also the Ukrainian connection. It is also the fact that he's worked with the Ukrainian government. It's also the fact that most felons can't even drive down a damn street without being pulled over at some point and being bothered and having cops treat them like shit just because they got a felony some time ago. This man had weapons of mass destruction and got probation, and this boy is out here living like Passport Poppy, traveling the world and recruiting people for other governments to fight in wars that we shouldn't even be in. So there's that. But why is it not being reported that this man has worked directly with the U.S. Embassy? And also, why in the actual fuck would the U.S. Embassy be working for somebody who literally made weapons of mass destruction? Unless they knew and didn't care. That's absolutely true. Talking about the Uhuru 3. They upturned Uhuru 3's lives on trumped up charges of working as unregistered foreign agents. Meanwhile, this guy is straight up trying to recruit warriors for Ukraine and gets to attempt an assassination. Exactly. That's basically what it boils down to. That is basically what it boils down to. Like how did, and with the Uhuru thing, they were coming after them for something that happened years ago. Right? Something that happened years ago. And they hadn't committed any crimes. This man has a rap sheet, and I'm not even talking about the driver's license, but this man had concealed carry with no permit multiple times. And apparently one of the times that he got stopped, he took off with the gun and barricaded himself and didn't get killed. That's insane. How does the mainstream media not report on all this? It takes Twitter people to come out and report on this. That's not normal, my guys. So like I said, the problem with this particular situation is it's not like the math isn't adding up. All the math is adding. It's mathing like a motherfucker. The math is 1, 2, 3. What's 1 plus 2? What's 1 plus 3? Like, it's easy. But you would think that in a country where so many people are obsessed with guns, you would think that these people would have like better aim or something. I don't know, like better aim or like be more strategic. I don't know, but Jesus Christ, boy, they just don't make them assassins like they used to, huh, CIA? They can't get shit done right now, huh? I guess we know why they put so many out when they had to take out JFK, huh? Oh, that's very true, Anna. Tyreek Hill of Miami Dolphins, in case y'all didn't know, got like thrown on the ground and for quote unquote speeding, allegedly for speeding. Made him get out of the car, had him in handcuffs, threw him on the ground. Other cop pulls up, and then they come to find out like they actually had zero reason for doing any of that. So, the cop that conducted the original stop, I think got put on administrative leave while everything is pending investigation. But like, would that have happened if it wasn't Tyreek Hill? Knowing Miami PD? Probably not. Not knowing Miami PD the way I know. I just think you're a fucking idiot if you live in Miami and you're a cop and you work around that area, like near the Miami Dolphin station, and you don't know who Tyreek Hill is. You deserve that. You deserve whatever happened. Like that's crazy. Yeah, they don't get like a list of VIPs. That's like a departmental breakdown, ain't it? At a certain point, that's damn Tyreek Hill. When a black man with muscles near the Miami Dolphin Stadium is showing up 2 hours before a game starts in a Lambo or a Ferrari, I think it was one of the two, either a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. Bro, just go ahead and assume that man's probably playing that game that day. It's like, what the fuck? Bro, he did end up being allowed to play, but if it wasn't Tyreek, 60 and a 45 in Miami, that ain't speeding. That's like going 5 over. I mean, if you're not going 60 and a 45, you might get hit from behind. You might get rear-ended. Not even joking. 60 and a 45. Nah, I mean, technically, yeah. So you would have the right to pull him over. Nobody's saying that. And he didn't even actually say like, oh, I wasn't speeding, because he said he didn't know. But even if he had been, like, that isn't a reason. 60 and 45 isn't get the fuck out the car, get on the ground, like face down with some handcuffs on. That is not justified. Oh yeah, the no radar detector, so there's no evidence. Yeah, see, here's the problem with that. If you mention a radar detector to a cop that does not have a radar detector, that motherfucker will fight you. You might get shot that day. I know that sounds crazy. I'm speaking from firsthand experience. Because technically, you can't actually ask. Like, okay, you can ask to see the radar detector. It is not unlawful to ask. Because the reason why is because if you're given a ticket, now you're put in a position where you have to pay one way or the other. You're paying to get a lawyer to beat it. They're gonna, and the lawyer already knows that person probably didn't use a radar detector. In a lot of situations. And so they're gonna get knocked down to something else, or just get dismissed completely, or you're gonna pay the ticket. So it makes logical sense that you can ask to see the proof of why you're being pulled over. Yeah, but if you ask that, they might kill you. They might, because especially if they have a dash cam or some shit like that. Like if they stop you and it's on camera and they're just making shit up because you passed by and you just happen to be the last person that they needed to fulfill their quota for that day, it's like all these thoughts are running through their head because that quota shit is real. They're like, damn, I'm lying my ass off. I got no proof of this. I know I got this quota I got to meet, and everybody knows I got this quota I got to meet. Probably even this person. So they flip. They freak out. That's happened to me at least 3 times where I'm like, yeah, can I just see the... Because I know that I was using cruise control. So can I just see the radar? You show me where I was speeding. Because, I mean, you can see right here, my cruise control is still on. So, I just want to see, just to verify. Not saying that you're a liar, sir, but, it could have been somebody else. Can you just show me? And yeah, all 3 times they kind of flipped out. But 2 out of the 3 times, they just were like, after they flipped out, and I'm like, I don't know why you're tripping, bro. I'm just asking you the radar. If it's so easy, you're stopping me. You've put in all this effort to stop me because you had this proof. Like and luckily those 2 times I was also with somebody. So I made sure that I was with somebody if I'm gonna say something like that. And they just gave me warnings both times. Two out of the 3. And then the third one got dismissed. And the third one the third one I was by myself. So that's the one who flipped out the most. But those other 2, yeah. I was like, yeah, let me just see it, man. But I feel like you have integrity, right? You got integrity, so let me just see what you supposedly are stopping me for. And after they did their big ass flip, I guess when they reacted, they were expecting me to react. And I'm just like, I don't know why you're so upset, man. Like, I'm just asking to see the proof of this thing that you said I did. What's wrong with that? And I guess when I didn't flip and they didn't have it, he was driving a McLaren? Oh, yeah, somebody was probably just fucking jealous. Somebody was probably just jealous, to be completely honest with you. But it sounds like. So one thing I want to talk about was this whole Super Bowl hoopla. So I don't know who is going to be watching the Super Bowl, but Kendrick Lamar is supposed to be performing in the Super Bowl. And some people, because of his recent song, They Not Like Us, are like celebrating it. There are a lot of Kendrick Lamar fans. I've never been a big Kendrick Lamar fan. His only good album to me is Good Kid, Mad City, but like it's only because he took Illmatic's whole theme and just was like, I'm gonna make it about California instead of New York, which is like a storyline. And then Section 80 maybe. I'm not a fan of Pimp a Butterfly. I don't know why the hell people like that shit so much. But when he was announced, there were mixed feelings about it. First of all, my first initial reaction was, I cannot believe they chose Kendrick Lamar instead of Lil Wayne to perform in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. That is insane. Because the Super Bowl is like the halftime show of the Super Bowl are specifically geared towards my generation. Yep, I'm part of that generation now. I'm old. I'm 35. This is we're the ones, and maybe a little bit older, people who know the artists, like, like the radio hits. If it's just going to be based off of hits, right? Probably Lil Wayne is the way to go. Because everybody fucking knows Lil Wayne. Everybody knows Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has way more hits than Kendrick Lamar, who releases an album every 5 years. He has way more features that are hits. I mean, it's in New Orleans, of all places. He has way more people that he could bring on. There's a lot more crossover. But my assumption, I don't know, maybe Jay-Z has a problem with Lil Wayne, or Jay-Z's beef with Drake, or it's like imaginary beef that they had with each other, or competition rather. Maybe that drove him to do it. I don't know. But that was a dumb decision to me. That just was a dumb business decision. My mom don't listen to not a Kendrick Lamar. She can't name you one motherfucking Kendrick Lamar. Maybe Be Humble now. Maybe. That's it. But the people, my mom, they don't listen to fucking Kendrick Lamar. But what made me really upset about it is, so the irony of him making a song called They Not Like Us is that Kendrick Lamar is actually, in fact, not like us. And it's weird that people keep acting like he's like this weird revolutionary activist who's breaking down the barriers of the system. No, Kendrick Lamar keeps getting opportunities like this because he's none of that. He's absolutely not everything that he raps about, right? The image that he's managed to project onto people and that they've then contorted into making him somebody that he's not is like the opposite of what he actually does. For example, Macklemore has come out very, very, very pro-Palestine. A lot of rappers have, actually. But Macklemore just giving an example, has come out as pro-Palestine. And he doesn't even have politics in his music. He does not use politics really like that at all. I think until recently. And recently, I think he started getting a little bit more into it. But he used his platform to speak out for Palestine. He's actually supportive of Jill Stein and Butch Ware. Where's Kendrick Lamar? If there was the biggest out that you could possibly have as a rap artist, right, is be anti-genocide. They can't, if you came out and told the world that somebody was trying to blackball you for being anti-genocide, you would probably have more support than you have ever had before. You get what I'm saying? But he don't do shit for nobody. Like Nipsey Hussle's in the community. I would consider Nipsey Hussle a revolutionary in the sense of he was working his hardest to create a community that was not reliant on any government help, but instead reliant on themselves. They help each other build businesses. They support each other's ventures. They spent their money within the community to make sure that black money was not leaving out the community and going to multinational corporations, but instead being spent at the small businesses there. In my opinion, that's revolutionary. And he was just a gangster rapper. Hell, 21 Savage does classes he does finance classes. It helps people start businesses and shit like that in Atlanta. People don't know that, but he's actually a pretty solid guy. Like, I would rather somebody teaching business classes or helping people start businesses, help teaching finance classes, teaching people about bank accounts, taxes, things like that. In my opinion, that's better than just giving somebody money. That's way more revolutionary. That is of the Black Panthers, if you will. But neither 21 Savage nor Nipsey Hussle were known as revolutionaries. Their brand, that wasn't their brand, nor were they considered that, even though to some degree they are. But Kendrick Lamar is considered some type of fucking revolutionary because his goddamn To Pimp a Butterfly album, because he bitched. Remember, people have to recall why To Pimp a Butterfly was even made. To Pimp a Butterfly was made because this motherfucker was so goddamn butthurt that Macklemore won a Grammy over him. And what's even crazier is that Macklemore shouldn't have won that Grammy. He knows he shouldn't have won that Grammy. But it wasn't even a guarantee that Kendrick would have gotten the Grammy, everybody. Because it was like Macklemore, Drake, Kendrick, Jay-Z, I think. Bro, the list for album of the year for rap artists that year was crazy. And the albums were all impressive. So it wasn't even a guarantee that Kendrick would have got the goddamn album. But Macklemore is white. Macklemore knows he won it because he's white. He even makes fun of himself because of it. Like, he made really basic music. He knows that. Kendrick was on some, because of this, Kendrick was like, I'm being blackballed because I'm black. Talking about boycotting the Grammys. Do y'all remember that? This was around, 2016, 2017. He was talking about boycotting the fucking Grammys. Didn't want nothing to do with it. Trying to convince other rappers to boycott the Grammys. Then he turns around and they ask him to perform the song, one of his songs from To Pimp a Butterfly at the Grammys. And the part where he's supposed to say, fuck the police in that song, the whole point, supposedly, To Pimp a Butterfly, in the context of all this Colin Kaepernick shit that was going on, because that was also the context of it. So in the part where he's supposed to say, fuck the police, he censored that whole part out. He just censored it out. He let them censor it out. They didn't say it. That was the most powerful part of the song. And everybody was like, nobody stopped to think. Nobody's talking, because the only thing I could think to myself whenever I was watching it, or I was on Twitter rather, and I saw Kendrick Lamar's perform, I'm like, what? Fuck it. Hold up, didn't Kendrick tell us to ban the Grammys? He didn't say to boycott that shit. I'm pretty sure Kendrick Lamar was like, damn, Grammys are racist. We should boycott. They don't I'm like, Okay, well, let me just hear what song he's going to, because of course he's going to play something from To Pimp a Butterfly. And the song that he plays, the most controversial part of the song, the most powerful part of the song, he censors. Okay. And then, you know, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. You know, Kendrick Lamar started doing fucking duets with goddamn Taylor Swift and shit. Bro. Then drops an album once every 4 or 5 years. But beyond that, Kendrick gets a level of treatment and favorability that revolutionary artists would never get. There are people who are bigger than Kendrick, that have been bigger than Kendrick. And do you know what happens to them if they actually even try to if they try to inch themselves in the direction of a revolutionary artist? They get yanked the fuck down and get opportunities taken away from them. And then maybe through some redemption arc, because they become popular again for whatever reason, they end up maybe snatching opportunity back. That can't happen. That's not Kendrick. The only time, God, I have to put this into context because we just go back to the Drake Kendrick beef, right? The only time Kendrick has ever been close to Drake on like Spotify listens, right? Because this is the Super Bowl we fucking talk about. So in the grand scheme, we have to talk about just how popular you are. The only time Kendrick has been close to Drake was when he was rapping about Drake. The only time people say, oh, let me go check out this Kendrick album. Like, and he was close to Drake was literally in the process of him fucking rapping about Drake. So the only time that you're popular is when you're rapping or talking about another artist that's more popular. And this isn't the first time that he's done that. But he makes the type of revolutionary music, quote unquote revolutionary music, that makes white people comfortable with talking about black issues. But it ain't really no revolutionary shit. He's not doing or saying anything. Honestly, his lyrics are fucking basic. If you want to know like how most people who don't like Kendrick Lamar but are very big hip hop fans, if you really want to know how they feel, go listen to Big Crit's Mount Olympus, I believe it's called. It's a diss that he did about Kendrick Lamar after Kendrick Lamar released that weird diss track. I don't know if you would call it a diss track. When he was name dropping on Control, and Big Crit responded and broke Kendrick Lamar down so perfectly because it was like hard for a lot of people to figure out the words for why we don't like him. I don't like Kendrick as a person. I was like, as an artist, I was like, okay, he's all right. Whenever Good Kid, Mad City came out, but like it was like the hype around him when I was in college was fucking bizarre to me. I'm a big J. Cole fan. J. Cole is better than Kendrick. J. Cole raps with way more depth. J. Cole actually does the shit he talks about. He is actually like J. Cole goes to the poorest school in our community growing up in Fayetteville. E. Smith is poor. And he started a damn book club that he himself goes to and reads with kids. He donates money to businesses. He walks his walk. And a lot of times he actually gets punished by the industry for that. Because he's too predictably consistent. Like he ain't gonna screw anybody else over. He's gonna speak his mind when he chooses to. He's gonna call people out when he needs to. Like that's how he is. That's not Kendrick. So they talk, Big Crit in that diss track says that like he wasn't cool when he was in school. And so he went into the English class and grabbed him a thesaurus and then took a bunch of lingo from rappers that people hadn't heard of yet and recycled it. And then like he chopped and screwed his music up. And it's, bro, it was so crazy. I was like, yo, this man is breaking this man's heart and soul down, right? Because everyone's like, this is it. Because so for people who don't know, he took a lot of his style from Detroit rappers like Eminem, Royce da 5'9", and Big Sean, a combination of all three. But then he also chopped and screwed his music up, like, which is like, whatever. That was a big popular thing at the time. But like, then he tried to be like conscious, like Tupac, like, which is, you know, a lot of rappers try to do that shit. But it was like a lack of credit that he would give. Cause like, so ASAP Rocky, for example, his name is Rakim. Like he talks about Rakim, he talks about, oh my God, who's the rap group from California, guys? Y'all remind me whenever, somebody knows what I'm talking about. But ASAP Rocky got a lot of his style from that and from Texas rappers, but he gives credit and he mentions them all the time. Drake too. But Kendrick stole everybody's style, acted like he something original. He just says a bunch of fucking syllables and people act like he said some shit profound because he said black at the end of the lyric. So he says nothing, but people have been convinced that he's, you know, revolutionary. But he says just enough that white people like it. And now it's on how he's performing at the Super Bowl, but he's talking about they not like us. Motherfucker, you not like us. What you mean? That's the equivalent, guys, of me being invited to be an anchor on CNN. That is the equivalent of Kendrick Lamar. No, that would be if he was actually the revolutionary that he says he is, or that people think he is, or that he's portrayed to be. That would be the equivalent. Like, oh man, Kendrick Lamar gets to perform at the Super Bowl, Niko getting invited to be an anchor on CNN. That would never fucking happen. Because I actually tell the truth. They're not allowed to have actual genuine political analysis on CNN, let alone a fucking news anchor who's doing it every day. If Kendrick wasn't the artist the type of artist to play ball, he wouldn't be uplifted like that. And if you're going to like have somebody perform at the Super Bowl and you already set this criteria for him to be an exception, because that's the only way you can describe Kendrick Lamar in this particular case, he's an exception. He is a weird, bizarre, inexplicable exception. They already don't like having like rappers be the headliners at Super Bowl unless you're like one of the all-time greats. Okay? So that's already a thing. Usually it's going to be a pop artist. If they have a rapper, their rapper is usually attached in some way, like is like mixing in their music with the pop artist that's the main headliner. But for you to have a rapper who isn't one of the all-time greats doing all-time numbers consistently, how are you gonna have a rapper that's not even a consistently number one or releases consistently number one songs performing a fucking Super Bowl when you have Lil Wayne there? Just waiting. Lil Wayne released a video talking about how disappointed he was about the shit. Because he was like, he said, you know, it's my fault for having that expectation. I should never have. Nah, I was expecting it. Literally everybody. I'm like, oh, bro, I can't wait to see Lil Wayne perform at the Super Bowl. That was one of the only things that, because, you know, the Super Bowl is kind of because of the way the game is now. But I like watching the performances sometimes. And Lil Wayne performing. I've been to a Lil Wayne concert. That shit was fun as hell. I've been to like 2. Yeah, I've been to 2. And both times, fun as hell. Especially the old back in the day mixtape Wayne. Psh. And Lil Wayne and the way he, you know, gets the crowd involved and all that shit. Like, it's fun. Not every performance for everybody, but I'm assuming for Super Bowl, he would be bringing out everybody. Because Lil Wayne got bangers on bangers on bangers. But instead, like, look, Kendrick, like, what the hell? What the fuck? Boy? You, Mr. Revolutionary, got invited to the Super Bowl to talk. Okay. All right, I guess. They said Wayne is a risk. Money don't like risks. But if Kendrick was the revolutionary that they claim him to be, wouldn't he be a risk too? Bruh, if you play a Millie Bang, and if you play a Millie at the Super Bowl, I would be, everybody is singing a Millie. Everybody. And they're not just singing the Millie part. Everybody might be singing every single word. There are people who know the lyrics to a Millie, and they don't even know they know all the lyrics to a Millie until a Millie just randomly comes on one day. They just be like, oh shit. I'm a millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire, tougher than Nigeria. I'm like, damn, you know that song? Like, damn, I didn't know either. Cause it's just that's Lil Wayne, man. There'd be so many Lil Wayne songs that would passively listen to. And then like if it came on today, I would still be able to quote every word. Lil Wayne, as far as music is concerned, one of the reasons that music got so damn dumbed down, it feels like because Lil Wayne made it too hard to be good at rap at a certain point. Between Lil Wayne's group of like his little circle, and I would probably put so obviously Wayne himself, Drake, probably Kanye to some degree, as good as he got eventually. Nicki Minaj back in the day, Big Sean, Prime 2 Chainz. Like it almost became too difficult to like have your own style, be a lyrical rapper, and also be entertaining. Because it damn near seemed like every lane got locked down. If y'all remember that little weird 2009 to 2015, 2016 run, right? It was like, that was a run in music. Because we had a little drought in the early 2000s, right? We had a whole drought in music, and then out of nowhere, we got like the best music ever, and then it just stopped. At least as far as rap is concerned. So for some people, R&B too, because Trey Songz had his little run during that time too. Chris Brown had his hit and run. Now, Chris Brown actually still popular as hell. But like that was a great time in music. And now music is kind of like trash. Rap is not good now. There's like, it'd be very rare that I'd be looking forward to a rap album dropping. It's kind of sad. I'm like, damn, I'm getting old. And I'm like, no, these motherfuckers they just suck now. They're not, labels are putting out trash artists, and it's almost like they're doing it on purpose. It's really like they want dumbed down. Because here's the thing, if you have a dumb artist that you know that can make you a lot of money, but they won't have the star power in the long run, that is the most usable artist for a record label, because they about to get all the money they can out of you, but you will not have the agency nor the popularity, the autonomy of popularity to separate yourself and compete with your label and start making demands. That's why you see a lot of artists fall out from under themselves quick. They made 2-3 hits and they fall. You don't know where they at. A lot of these artists like that. Not a great time for rock music for the last 20 years. Yeah, man, rock has definitely gotten a short end of the stick in music. Y'all, hey, but look, y'all had an epic run though, man. Y'all had an epic run. I don't know if we even have karaoke nights around the world if it weren't for 80s rock, right? So y'all had a hell of a run, bro. Whenever rock music was at its peak, it was the best shit out. That and Donna Summers. I'm a big Donna Summers fan. I wasn't a Donna, listen, okay, so I can't ever say I really wasn't a Donna Summers fan. I was like, had this weird relationship with Donna Summers because my mom used to force us to listen to her. And it was one of those situations where it's like, man, I don't want to listen to Donna Summers. I'm trying to listen to Jay. She's like, nah, we clean it. I'm at home. It's my day off. I'm putting on Donna Summers. And so we in the house like cleaning, and we trying not to dance to the shit. And like the third week you listen to it, you like, no, let's dance. The last dance. And my mom tried to run into the room to see if she could hear us singing. We like, what you coming in here for? Y'all was singing, weren't you? No, we weren't. Oh, we weren't. We were singing Hard Knock Life. Bro, my mom loved her some damn Donna Summers, boy. When Donna Summers passed away, boy, we had to call my mom and check up on her. Because we knew she was crying. Say it's all pop now. Everything is pop. It's all popified. Man, look, I don't even know if you call it fucking pop. The pop ain't even pop anymore. Pop music is trash. I thought pop music was at least supposed to be entertaining. And it's crazy because I feel like there's like a direct relationship with the how bad music has been lately. And like the rise of Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift was always popular. But like the worse music gets, Taylor Swift becomes more popular. Y'all think that's kind of weird? Because she's not like, so Taylor Swift has always been mediocre to me. I know that might hurt somebody's feelings, but she's been mediocre as fuck. I feel like her best time was when she first came out, when she was writing everything, when she was playing her own music. I feel like her voice actually shined because it was a reflection of the music she was writing. And then like, you know, the A&R people got a hold of her. It was like, yeah, enough of that shit. Get your Katy Perry on, but don't sing as well, basically. Like Katy Perry, in my opinion, 100% sings way better than Taylor Swift does. But what's crazy about Taylor Swift is she's become more popular as her actual like performance as an artist overall has gotten worse and more watered down. And like, it's like everything has gotten worse and more watered down. But for some reason, out of all the artists that have actually thrived in this environment, Taylor Swift has risen to the cream of the crop and has become a billionaire in an environment where music is worse than it's ever been. And that's how you know that she's definitely benefited, in my opinion, from the machine. That is the machine putting her in that position. That is a machine creating the circumstances for her to be that. Because, I mean, she ain't the only one that can make trash music. A lot of people can make trash music. Old Taylor Swift, I got a lot of respect for young Taylor Swift, yo. Young Taylor Swift was a talent. But this new Taylor Swift, she's just as trash as everybody else, but she's way more famous than everybody else. Somebody said, this all started when Bill Clinton signed the Telecommunications Act. For those of you who don't know, that's actually a thing. Directly affecting the quality of art. Yeah, I can see that though. I can genuinely see that. Because it affects, the Telecommunications Act affected your opportunity to be seen. So there are situations where you can actually be too good of an artist. There are artists who are so good at what they do that they will be limited by a record company and be relegated to producers only, and maybe music writers and lyric writers for a star that may not be as talented in one or more aspects, or they're really, really good in one thing and that's it. But if you are too damn talented, they will relegate your ass to just doing some production and some lyric writing. They will do that. Not that you can't make money off of it, but there are a lot of people who obviously do music because they want it to be heard. They want it to be celebrated. You know, they wanted their voice to entertain people. And it kind of defeats the fucking point if I'm writing music for somebody else. But that happens a lot. Hell, there's an artist, oh my goodness. It was a rap artist from my generation back in the day. He switched his name. He was a rapper, then he switched his name because like he got a bad rep in the industry for some reason. Oh my God, I wish I could remember this man's name. But he's a producer now, and he's famous as shit. He's a songwriter too. And he's done so much stuff since then, but no one knows that this is the same rapper that so many people were hating on. And but he learned at a certain point, like, the industry will pigeonhole you. And if you refuse to go into that hole, they will blackball you. So that's one of the reasons I used to rap. And I got out of it. I was like, I don't really like this industry that much, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Man, hold on. I'm gonna play something for you guys. Let me see if I can find something. I'm gonna play something for you guys. I used to rap, man. I was pretty damn good too. Pretty damn good. Back in my early 20s. We used to do shows, throw parties. It was a good time, man. What a time to be alive. Yeah, look at my hair. It was the first time I started growing my hair out. Yeah, it was that long ago. 11 years.
Got instrumental stop.
Yo, what's up, man? It's Niko, man. Just bring y'all a little free verse. Just because I like to talk shit, and I can. Here we go. I got some party niggas on my team, boy. Liquor in the cup, chasers in the freezer, boy. And you know it's F2D, boy. That's young Niko, fresh to death. Rest in peace, boy. That gap bang, your hat hang off your goddamn neck like a damn chain. Better stay in your lane, old bum ass nigga. All I do is count paper, all you see is change. Who you know better? Nobody wants you, Grandma Betty Sue Christmas. What a 3 blonde ass might see none but a cheddar pussy nigga. Better shut it down, nigga. You better shut up. Niko, why you gotta go so hard? Can't somebody else have a chance to be a star? Hell nah, nigga. I'm taking everything. These niggas trash like the Benz in front yard. Check my shirt, check my shoes. Nigga, what skin? Only tattoos. What you mean, do me, girl? I'm trying to do you. My girls on field trips, only travel by twos. Let me break it down. Split the blunt, pass it round. Plenty smoke, where we at? Obese, doobies, plenty fat. Like a big ass ball of yarn. Stay around, kitty, cat, me. Stay up in them buns. Call me Niko Big Mac. You can find me knee deep in somebody's daughter. Bitch, you swimming with the shark in a kiddie pool of water. Hold up, pause. I know this ain't a damn dressing room, but you still gonna drop them jaws. You see T Niko sketched all up in your college bathroom stalls. Where my bottles, bring them shots. I ain't no Boy Scout, don't tie knots. My niggas get fried in the morning, so I call them tater tots. Man, who the fuck are you to say who's hot and say who not? But my nigga, you want that heat? I bring that fire to the pot. Get it? Fuck your bitch. Swallow my words and don't you spit. Suck my mind up one more time. House full of girls like Madeline or maybe Annie. Hard night life with the flows uncanny. They can't see me, Phantom Danny. I get ghost, swimming that pussy, big breaststroke.
Yeah, man, that was back in the day. That was one of the first songs that I ever did, and it got really, really popular. You know, everybody was like, "Yo, man, you should release a mixtape." So then I did a mixtape and all that. It was a good. I had to delete my. That's what I was actually originally famous for on Twitter. I had to delete that shit. So I got into politics and organizing this. I was like, you know what? Normally, I would keep all this stuff on, but I'm gonna go ahead and delete this because I feel like for some reason this might come back to bite me in the ass. This is before cancel culture was a thing. I'm like, cancel culture, Young Bird, hey, that's who it is. Sean, my guy, yeah, my audience is the best. I can give y'all random disparate facts about a situation and ask for the name, and y'all always know. Yes, it's Young Bird. That's exactly what I was talking about. There won't be any more princes. Oh, boy. Oof. That one hurt. When you say it out loud like that, that it hurt a little bit worse. Because you're right, bro. We're not going to get no more princes. We're not going to get no more of that. No, we're not going to get nothing. The closest we're going to get to Michael, we got plenty of Michael Jacksons, I've guessed. People that have tried to be Michael Jacksons. But like, what made Michael Jackson so special was obviously the performances. But then he could also play instruments. But his production was crazy. The effort that he put into producing his music, like using his own fucking heartbeat to be part of the damn beat in some cases, or like beatboxing and stuff like that to make it like, bro, we're not gonna get that again. It's not happening anymore. Because if you're a one-man band, if you're a one-man show, you are a problem for a record label. You can be too autonomous. It sucks because that's why, like, when you go back and listen to like old music, bro, you like, damn. Even with rock too. I mean, rock, just everything, because I guess some music has gotten easy to replicate, but when you think about a lot of music in the context, like, damn, they didn't have all these computers and all this production equipment and synthesizers and beat makers and things like that. They was actually playing this shit and had to play. Like, you can't set a beat or set a rhythm and just hit repeat like you do on a computer now. Like, they was in that bitch playing and singing at the same time, and they had to get it right. Like, to know that they were doing that and they were recording that stuff live, and it's like, damn, these people were so damn talented. And now, and I guess it's not even just in music. I guess really the problem is it's almost in every aspect of society. I feel like now you almost get punished for being too talented. It's almost like a curse. Because back then it had to be worth the money, right? For somebody to want to go see you perform, like a Ray Charles, for example. When you went to a Ray Charles, like, you look at Ray Charles concert, boy, it had to be a show. You was getting a whole show. Michael Jackson, you was getting a show, an experience. Even back in the early 2000s when it came to R&B concerts and stuff like that, late 90s, you were getting a show. Now, it's like, I think I've been to a couple of concerts in the last, I went to a Bad Bunny concert, but Bad Bunny was like kind of an exception to a rule. And we got a show. But Bad Bunny is also kind of like the first one to be as big, like the first Latin rapper to be as big as he is and was at the time. So like, but we got a show. But also Bad Bunny's a producer. People don't even know that. He's a producer. He does a lot of his own stuff too. So, but just overall though, yeah, we never gonna get another Prince. Or if we do get another Prince, we'll probably discover him from YouTube or Twitter first. But if he'll ever get elevated to Prince level, that person, probably not. Probably not. When the music ain't about shit, the people ain't about shit. You know what? Might steal that shit. Because that's true. It does seem like that, right? When the music ain't about, because I mean, art is a reflection of society. So if the music ain't about shit, then society really ain't about shit. And that's probably why the music sounds like that. Or at least society where the power is concentrated, they're not about shit and they're not allowing the music to be about shit, which once again is also just a reflection of overall society. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great live stream segment of Mimosa Mondays. We talk about whatever for whatever. And sometimes I guess we talk about some news too. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all share this video. You can support the show by becoming a channel member, of course, supporting us through Patreon or supporting us through Rockfin as well. Make sure you follow us on Telegram, on Twitter. All that stuff is in the link in the description. If you have a question you want to ask me on Q Bounty, which I will. Actually, I got a couple of questions on Q Bounty I'm going to be posting today that I got to answer. Make sure y'all go to qbounty.com. The link is in the description. You can ask me anything. You can also ask questions to Sabby. I think Kit from Heartlands Media is there. They got a couple of other people joining up pretty soon too. So make sure y'all go there, check it out. Ask me a question. It could be as random as you like on Q Bounty. Once again, like, smash the like button. Go check out some of our other clips and things like that on YouTube and all other platforms. And always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.